So, how do you onboard and train a new sales professional? Super important. So, we've developed a fairly documented, a completely documented process for 60-day onboarding. So, as a result of the video, I'm going to give you a free sample of the first week on how we do it, which I think will help you set a template of how to do it if you haven't put it together yourself in writing. But I want to talk a little bit today about some of the things that you should include in yours that we've seen, and we've tested this for several years now and gotten it documented. So, and it's really, really important. So the first 2 weeks is managed by the day. Now we use Basecamp to track this. You can use whatever you want but it's got to be documented because the onboarding process for new sales professionals in the industry is the number one reason they fail if you don't have one. So this is such an important thing. I've had an engagement a couple years ago where they were hiring reps and putting them in a cubicle and getting to them when they could. And that's literally what they were doing. And they couldn't understand why the sales weren't going up. So, and they were throwing vendor training at them every couple of days and having them go out on calls with sales reps when they can, but there was no structure to it at all. For lots of, the VP said for lots of good reasons. So our program has a first 2 weeks is daily, and then after that it's weekly, but it's all documented, and it's an 8-week process. And we break it up into kind of 3 phases. And if we can't get them onboarded in 8 weeks where they're tearing in the right direction, then we release them back to industry and move on. Because I remind clients all the time, the most attention you're going to get from a sales rep, sales professional, is that first 8-12 weeks. So if you can't capture their attention and see what they're doing for you successfully, that's in the right trajectory, you're probably not going to be able to do it. Now, certainly there's exceptions to that. Now, our program is designed to onboard an SMB rep. So this is somebody dealing with 25, 75, 50 seat type engagements. These are not enterprise reps. That's a longer stretch and with different expectations. I want to make sure we clearly identify that. But one of the things we do differently that we didn't always do is the expectation we set with the rep. So anyone that we hire, we do not hire people who cannot come to us and bring business when they come, because that's the phase 1 piece of it. And that's really, really important. We've tried hiring people and developing business with them. It just takes too long. Now, if you have time, then certainly you can do that. Most clients don't have that much time. We need the person selling, and we need them selling right away. So phase 1 is, let's go look at all of the names and contacts of folks you have in LinkedIn or relationships that you've got that you can bring business in right now. So the first 2 or 3 weeks is you calling, and there's a very documented process of how you send out an email, let them know you're working here now. We set them up inside of the CRM system or sales and marketing automation software, to let them know that you're now at company X. You're going to be coming by with your new manager, sales engineer, CEO, whoever it might be, to introduce yourself again and get reacquainted. And what you're there simply to do is to find out if there's any business there. That engineer with you or CEO with you is going to help you do that. And they're going to help you tell the story of the company you're working with now in the way they want it told, because you probably don't know how to do that. So phase 2 of this process is we start to market after around, and we usually give you a couple of weeks worth of training, sometime 1 week depending on the engagement, and then week 3 or week 2 we start taking score, which means earlier we talked about developing that marketing quota. So we've said that there's 4 meetings a week you're supposed to hit. The clock clicks on. We pop up your document that we use to manage that under the Google Sheet, and we start. So let's say week 3, you get 0 week 2, and week 3 we start taking score. So we want to see is you trending to 4 meetings a week over the next 2 or 3 weeks, and where you're going to get those leads from is the people that you brought with you that you said when we first hired you that could bring some business. That's where that's coming from. Phase 2 is cold leads. Now we'll typically start a cold lead campaign around week 3 using our sales and marketing software to start getting you some contacts. What we're not going to do is give you leads from the company, old clients of ours or old customers for you to follow up on. Here's why. If you don't make it, I don't want to have to go back to those clients and say, oh, sorry, we had John call you and tell you he's your new rep. He didn't make it, so we're going to wait for the next person to get teed up and 2 months later have somebody else call on you. So we don't do that, because keep in mind, if they can't get business with people they say who know and like them, in some case love them, with what we're offering, and they can't get business with any of the cold leads that we've given them, and that's harder, clearly, why would I hand them off to my existing warm clients or clients that we've got some relationship with and have them not be able to close them on any business either? So those first two pieces are significant change to the onboarding process and documented version of that. I cannot tell you how significant that is. Now, during that training time as well, for the next 8 weeks, we're also doing sales one-on-one training. We're doing sales education. In our case, we make sure they read the Challenger book, question-based selling, 5 levels of leadership. It's all tasked out inside of Basecamp as well, so they know that's something they have to do. We role play with them. We have a solution stack training module built in there and a vendor training module built in there as well. So all these pieces are built in to make the person successful, or at least see that they are tiering to being successful. And if you cannot make them successful, or at least start moving in that direction, then the smart thing for you to do is to release them back to industry. I hope this was helpful. Again, Gary Beecham, President and CEO of SBC International. Thank you very much.